Welcome to Built. My name's Chase. This week on the Fatsun, we are going to be running our brake lines, buttoning everything up there, bleeding our brakes and testing them. Hopefully we'll have that system completely done. Then we will move over to a transmission shifter, which I'm really excited about because I'm going to build it. Lots of different materials to pick from, tons of scrap laying around, and that's what I plan on building it out of. I don't know if I'm going to use round tubing, square tubing, solid stock, a flat bar, and mount something at the end. I don't know. I was looking at this big wrench and I thought about using it. I thought that'd be a pretty cool shifter. This is an automatic. It's got a 4L60E in it right now. It's the factory setup out of our donor truck. It was a 01, 02, or 2000, 2001 GMC Sierra 1500. So right now we're just gonna hook it up so that it runs through the factory shift pattern. Something we want to be able to do in the future is control what gear we're in completely. So if we put it in first, it stays there. If we put it in second, yank the e-brake and want to stay in it for a while, it stays there and does what we tell it, how we tell it to. Whatever we end up doing with a shifter on version 1 may not stay. If you have any recommendations or cool looking shifters you've seen, I'm always open for some new inspiration on how to build things. And if you know about how to keep these 4L60s in the gear you want them in, I really need that information. So we'll get started with the brakes, and as soon as we have that buttoned up, we'll start on this nonsense. So now we have this soft line mounted to run out a hard line. This one is mounted to do the same, and they'll both come together in the center. I just used a little piece of scrap angle, and I know it's not proper to just weld to cast like that, but that's not going to go anywhere. It's not a very high demand job. I didn't want to preheat that pump gun and dump a bunch of heat into it. So now we'll mount this T that will come up and follow the chassis and go on into the master cylinder. So attempt number 1 is a horrible failure. It's very oblong, and these little ridges that it put in the side from just holding it or clamping it are actually hanging up on the fitting. I think my problem was just too much sticking out right here at the end when I made that first push. But this is not the best brake flaring kit so far, or brake line flaring kit. So if you see anything here that I'm missing and I'm just doing wrong, go ahead and comment and let me know in case I don't actually manage to get these finished today, and I can button them up next time. But I'm hoping I've built enough length into this to cut it off twice and redo, so hopefully inside of those next 2 times I'll get one that will work. So this is attempt number 2, and it kind of looks like I stuck a firecracker in the end of it. So I'm going to do a little more research. I don't know if it's the copper nickel or nickel copper whatever brake line that I'm trying to use, and maybe the flaring tool, maybe all this stuff is made to use just steel line. If so, I'll grab some at the parts store and work with that. This is not working. I'm not going to burn up my whole night working on this. So I'm going to move right along to something else. So for the brake system, if this is the front of the truck, then we'll have a caliper here, caliper here, caliper here, and a caliper here. We have our master cylinder, and it has a port for the back and a port for the front. So from there, we just have to hook everything back up. Right now, these all have a soft line. On the front, it's A-arms, so the soft lines go from the caliper to the pivot point. Then you can run hard line back without any concerns about suspension. The back came out of that Sierra and has a soft line coming off of each brake caliper. And we'll run a hard line between the two with a block. So we'll have a block here, and then we will bring this across the chassis. We'll have a block here. So we'll have our fittings that go into the master cylinder, our fittings that go into these soft lines. They already have a female port on them. And then our fittings at the blocks. Then we will bring that across with a hard line. This will be a soft line coming up with another fitting. Then we'll have a hard line coming from here to here, a hard line coming from here to here. I think that we have all the fittings we need. I'm not sure how this soft line will work. I don't know if it will have like male and female already, or if we'll need to make a little short section of hard line. So we'll lay some fittings out for it anyway. It looks like it leaves us one spare. This would be the only spot in question. I know that that will all go together. I know that that will all go together. From the block to this hard line on the frame, that's going to be the only one I'm not 100% sure about. I'm also not 100% sure about this brake setup. So if you see any kind of big fundamental problems with this, go ahead and comment about it. We may find out really quickly when we try to test the system that this is wrong, or I've done something really bad. But for now, I'm about to put this together. That's going to be the brake system for now. And again, if you know something that we should change to make this work a lot better, just comment below and let us know about it.
I'm back here by the Datsun. I'm so excited to be back on this project. Our quarantine has been like partially lifted, so me and Chase are allowed to work together again, which means that I will be working on this car again. Now we're still gonna be working on, man, there's a lot of noise at his house. There's a highway like right there, so it's just, you know, sorry. There is, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, I'm still gonna be working on the Corolla. Don't worry about that. That build's still going. I'm gonna come here and help him one day a week on the Datsun. He's gonna work another day on the Datsun to continue to get this thing moving. Most everything now is fabrication stuff, which is Chase's kind of like specialty on the channel. This thing, when it gets to be running again, which is gonna be very soon, we're working on that today, is going to come to my house for a custom one-off wide body that I hope I can build. Today, we are gonna be working on brake line. So this is NICOP brake line. You can bend it by hand. I felt like that would be good for my first go around with brakes. Chase worked with this a little bit last night, had some issues with the flaring tool. I played with it for about 30 minutes, maybe more. I don't know, I've been playing with it for a while. And I finally got a flare that I think looks good. Now this is nerve-wracking because I'm literally building the entire brake system, and if it fails, then you know, the car doesn't stop. So we're gonna be working on this and trying to make this work. This will not be tutorial though. This is the first time I've done this, and I don't wanna teach somebody how to do brake lines when I don't even know if mine are gonna work. So we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna see how well we can do. I just bought a kit off of Amazon with fittings and lines. This fitting is kind of stuck now, so I have to figure that out. And Chase drew a beautiful diagram for me on the hood. Pretty nerve-wracking. I don't know how much talking I'm gonna be doing in this one, but man, I'm so glad to be back on this truck. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for keeping up with this build. Thank you guys for encouraging Chase. He kind of got thrown in the water and told to swim when the quarantine stuff happened, and just killed it. He did a great job, and this thing is coming along so nicely. All right, that's enough talking. Let's build some brake lines. I'm gonna try a few different things to get my shape here. First one is just, I've got this hose that's pretty much the right size. And that'll be a length right there. I will say, I do not think this will be something I get on the first try, and that's okay. If I have to buy more of this stuff, it's not that expensive. I'm just gonna, to learn stuff, I just have to do it. That's just how I am. So I'm just gonna do it and we'll see what happens. Okay. What in the world? I cut the wrong side. Ah, that's frustrating. All right, round 2 already. This is the second length. I think this is gonna be right. I really just want to get one in, get one brake line in, and I think I'll feel better about this whole situation. Right there. That is loud. All right. All right. That took longer than I expected. This thing kind of mars up the line, so that's why I'm having to hit it with that 180 grit to clean it all up so that the fittings will actually go, but I think that is going to be our first brake line. Now, let's put it in and see if it actually fits. All right, I guess that's one. These fittings didn't go all the way in, which I feel like maybe they should. I'm not sure how much you're supposed to torque these things to. I've got them really tight, but they're not seated all the way against either block. So I feel like maybe they should be. I don't really know. I'm gonna look up some more information. If this seems like it's okay for them to not be run all the way in, that's fine. Or if there's a torque spec I can find somewhere, we'll do that, and then we can move to the other side. Not that hard, but it is a little bit stressful because it's like this is responsible for stopping your car. And if it leaks, I guess we just make more lines. So I guess that's not that big of a deal. But I'm betting by the end of this build, probably not this video, by the end of this build, by the end of this brake job, I'll know how to make brake lines. So that's kind of cool. All right, on to the next one. All right, that's 2 in, 1 and 2 over here. Pretty excited about this. So those run up to this soft line that we'll tie off here, and then we've got to run a really long hard line down the frame and up to the master cylinder. Hopefully this works. If this works, this is a great skill. This is a good thing to know how to do.
I can go back to just smiling.
Yeah, you don't have to talk anymore. We're just gonna zip tie this thing up. For now, maybe forever. We'll see. So this is obviously so the car can go up and down. Right. If we didn't have this, then we would have issues. It would break and stuff. We're so excited to be back in the same garage again. This is great. Working with friends. All right, so for the front line's gonna be a little bit more complicated. The other side, the driver's side, is a really short run. That'll be easy. But this side has gotta come out, across here, down that frame rail, back up and over to that little brass block over there. So we've got a little bit of movement, a little bit of places we can go with it, but it is gonna be a long run, so I'm gonna have to really make sure I do it right. Hey, thanks, Chase. What I'm gonna do to get my bends and stuff is take this welding wire and run it the length of everything that I need so that I can make sure I at least have the right length, and then we'll bend it on the actual car. That's funny. I was trying to figure out how I was gonna get this line over to the block, and I was like, the block's not mounted to anything. It's just sitting there. I was like, how in the world am I gonna, how do that work?
What do I do?
right, dude, front brakes are hooked up. Yeah. So all of this is loose right now. We're gonna get some tie downs to hold all the brake lines in place. When we do that, that's when we'll straighten out all of our bends and make it look neat. For now, this is just testing the, I don't know, I guess the theory of whether or not, or the idea of whether or not we can actually build this whole system on our own. It seems pretty straightforward. It's just gonna be a matter of does it leak. So we got one more to do. It's the long run from the back of the truck up here to the front. And we're gonna do it with the cab up. So we'll have to get the cab up to do that. Do you think we'll do that today? Are we gonna get the cab up today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so we'll probably do that today. So we're gonna do it without lifting the cab because our cab lifting system is down right now. So we're gonna run this without lifting the cab. I think it'll be just fine. We'll secure it and everything with the cab up, like with the little screws and stuff. But for now, this is gonna work out fine.
Make sure you stay tuned in the episodes to come. We have the new cab lifting plan ordered.
Cab lifter 6001.
Oh, man, it's cool too.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad. So, all right, last line, let's do it. We're using steel brake line this time, so I'll let you guys know what I think is better. Chase and I were talking that Nycop stuff is nice to bend, but it's really soft, which is a little bit nerve-wracking, and this stuff is it's steel, so it's less soft. So I don't know, I'll let you know which one I like better after this is over. But we're gonna run this last line underneath the truck with steel line, and then we will be ready to pressurize the system. Hopefully it doesn't leak too badly. It's gonna leak, I'm expecting that. Hopefully it doesn't leak too badly. All right, let's do it. All right, so here's the moment of truth. We're about to put some fluid in this and push the brakes. Now, if everything went well, nothing will leak out. I don't think that's gonna be the case. We're pretty sure this flaring tool is not doing the right thing, but we don't really know because neither of us have ever done this. So we're gonna throw some fluid in here, hit the pedal, and hopefully something other than, did you spill some?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hopefully fluid actually goes somewhere. I guess we'll need to actually bleed them.
Yeah, you gotta bleed them. It's not gonna be anything there. We go. So the brake flaring tool is not working with me. I'm gonna do some research and see if there's just something I'm doing really wrong. If not, then in the morning I'll run around and try to find a different flaring tool and get back to work on the brake lines. Until then, I don't want to waste a bunch of line and a bunch of time making the same mistake over and over. So I'm going to move on to the shifter, and it's really just a coincidence. A few days ago, I picked up a parts Chevy Trailblazer that has a 4L60E transmission and was in a fire. I need parts off of it for some other work that I'm doing, but I don't need the shifter assembly. So I've pulled all of it out, and this is made to operate that transmission. So it's pretty plug and play as far as putting a cable from here to that transmission and this shifter working for it. We'll do away with the safety that releases when you turn the key on normally. I'm not sure what we'll do on all these gates, if we're going to modify them at all. Probably just leave them alone right now. But I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to try to make a shifter for that. Messing with the interior, we were looking at this old Miata center console I've had laying around, and we think that it will fit the top of that trans tunnel really well. So I'm gonna see, we knew we were gonna have to cut it down, we weren't sure where, but I think I'm going to cut it down right here, hollow this out, and see if I can set this shifter up through that. That's actually pretty darn good. Let's just see what that looks like in the truck. So this actually may be right at home. It looks like I could take some off the front of this if I needed to, but it honestly may just fit And that just sits right on it. I'm not sure how we would clean up the front of this or what that looks like, but I know Kaleb can do that. It would be a little weird trying to get this down into first though, like that. So we have first, second, third, drive, and then I guess that's it. It's a 4L60, it's a 4-speed. I wonder if there's room to just space the back up. Like with a little bit of notching, I could bring it up to about right there, and that's not that bad. That'd be drive, park. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more. So I want to see if it's possible for me to get this pin out. I think if I can get this lever assembly out, it'll give me a lot more freedom on how this thing is going to operate. Alright. So that's all that has to happen. So 5/8. I need to be able to push this thing down 5/8 of an inch. So if this thing's in place, I need to be able to make this thing go 5/8 of an inch. So I think I have a plan figured out, and basically I'm just gonna have to do it and then figure the rest out, and I'm either gonna make something really cool or none of this is ever gonna work again. So I'm just gonna do it.
No, they notice me flexing.
Honestly, however much that just bent for me is probably just what it's going to be. I don't think I'll try to do that again because it did start to boil that little plastic coupling, whatever you'd call that. And I really don't want to try to make one. But that bent our shifter into a little more forward of a position. You saw how far back the shifter was in that first gear, or any of the gears really. But especially if you pulled it down and low, the thing was like laying back on you. If you look right here, you can see the rough texture. That's where it started to boil that plastic. But it didn't get it too bad. I don't think that it distorted the openings at all. But they were good. Yep, still works, so that's good. Didn't get exactly the bend I was looking for, but that's better than nothing, and honestly, probably makes this thing's job a little bit easier. Alright. Next task is getting a line straight through the center of this. Still just really difficult to see on camera. You can kind of see them at that angle right there and there and there. Anyway, let's bring this thing to the drill press. Oh, I give up. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. I have more plans for this shifter for tomorrow. I believe I'll be able to figure out what's going on with that flare tool, and I think past that, the brakes will be super easy. And then I'll get back to this, and hopefully have a couple of decent drill bits and a chuck for the drill press and be able to just do it. So we'll see you tomorrow.
What's going on here? Oh, yeah, that's baller. Is this those things that you use all the time from the saws?
No, I don't know what that's from.
Oh.
It's thinner.
It's really good though.
Yeah. I tried to drill holes in it just for a look, and I remembered that tool steel is very hard. So I like that little piece at the top.
Yeah, it's cool.
We grab. This will be what runs the button. At first I thought I'd put it out in front, but I don't like that. I can't But here, so I was going to drill a hole right through the top right there.
Yeah, it'd be baller if you can make it work.
Do you think it's worth giving her a whirl?
Yeah, I mean, if not, you just fill it in. It won't do it.
Yeah, true that.
But I think if you can, I mean, that'd be cool. And it'd look cool, too, because you'll have that kind of like machined-looking hole in there.
I drilled pretty easy.
You did.
I gotta step it up a little. Yes! All right, so now I think we have about all of our pieces together. This shifter will tie together with this one here. It already has the short section of the factory plunger down in there. I'll have a couple of pieces of this as a guide. Then I'll have a piece of this that comes through all of it. And out of the top of our wrench handle, we'll have a button mounted here so that we can hit the button and change gears. So we'll see how that goes. See if I can get everything together.
Very cool. You have anything you want to tell the people at home about it?
That was a big waste of time.
We hope not. Either way, we do have a shifter, so whether we keep it or not, it's there, which is a big part of being able to drive this thing. I don't know, man. I kind of like the way it feels.
Yeah.
All right. So front brakes are hooked up. We've got a shifter made. Back brakes are run to their little thingy. We have one more run to do, and then we have a brake system. So we'll just run it down this way to the master cylinder. Hopefully that is enough. And we'll have brakes, everybody. That's exciting. And hopefully they'll work.
Now we can put the brakes on this thing. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. If you've been subscribing for a while and you want to take your support to the next level, the join button is the way to do it. It's only 99 cents a month. It makes a huge difference for everything that we do, and we really appreciate all of you that are supporting us in that way now. Datsun will have a new video every Sunday. It is very close to its first road test, so we're really excited about that. We're also very excited about Caleb's budget build. Go check that out. He's got a wide body classic JDM build that he's doing right now. There should be news out on the C10 very, very soon. I guess that's it. What's the secret word of the week? Linear. So put linear in the comments, and we will see you next time.